Let's find out where this all began. The team of my birth, essentially. I was born, of course, in Boston, as you've now seen. I just want to thank you all for coming. I know it's a bit cramped in the old office, but no, thank you everyone for turning up. I appreciate it. Marky Fletcher. Mark Fletcher. And it's Boston 2, Burton 0, and promotion to League One. 3 in a row! I can't believe it. It seemed, although nothing could stop the Boston boys after successive promotions on promotions on promotions and players coming in, Marky Fletcher scoring goals, things were looking good. But eventually, after poor form, my head was turned. Well, that makes things interesting. They're 10th, by the way, in the Premier League. Well, good. That's cleared everything up, hasn't it? Let's talk about Newcastle. But let's do this interview. Let's see. As you can tell, this is quite a Newcastle-based episode. But welcome, Doctor. Thank you, Derek Walton. There is a conclusion. I'm unsuccessful with my Newcastle interview, and that was potentially because I said... So we remained at Boston, and the board, after some more poor form, set us the target of 9 points from 5 games. We couldn't do it. It's 8 points, and they wanted 9. And I don't know. So there I was, sacked. And after months of searching through Spain, France, Italy, Germany and England, an old flame returned to my inbox. Newcastle United. They were back with an interview. Was this finally the moment I'd get the move I had my head turned by before? No. No, it wasn't. It's the 17th of March. And finally, not an interview, but an offer. From Boston hero to Aston villain. Well. What do we have here? Welcome back, viewers. Not to Boston boys, to a middle episode that is confusing and without a name, although tomorrow a new name will be said, and that is hero to villain. Aston Villa is the new team. Now, there's a lot of you wondering how, why, what, where are they? How, okay, this wasn't in the thumbnail. No, you're right, it wasn't, because, you know, secrets and surprises are very exciting, and they've approached me at long last on the 17th of March. This has taken me absolutely ages. Now, there's a huge number of reasons as to why we've selected Aston Villa. I guess you want to know why, so let's talk through a few of them. Now, Aston Villa currently sit 20th in the Premier League. They are 9 points off safety and they have 7 games to turn that round. I personally don't think we're going to turn it round. We're going to turn it round. That's weird. And I did say I didn't want to go for a Premier League side. And this is like a Premier League side, sort of. I mean, they are in the Premier League, but then they're not. Okay, look, either way, we're going to either survive and it's going to be incredible, or we're not and we're going to rebuild in the Championship. Now, I know we went for the Forest job and it just didn't feel right. And I know I said that a League One job would be the preferred job. And a lot of you thought, you were convinced it would be Norwich. And as you can see, Norwich, who are now top of the table, have done wonders under Paul Lambert and probably will continue to do wonders under Paul Lambert. It's like we've gone back in time over 10 years. Look, the situation is this then. Aston Villa is for me, the most interesting project. They've got a squad which is, the only way to describe it really is curious. There is so much sort of oddness about it that it's exciting. In terms of players of value, they've got, for example, 77,000 a week, £24 million Callum O'Hare. He's not though, is he? He's not £24 million, 77k a week. He's not bad, but he's not that. And there's lots of things that attracted me to the playing squad. Of course, I don't need to go on about how big a club Aston Villa are. They're previous European champions. They've won leagues before as well. And they're a side that really are a little bit of a sleeping giant, not only just in real life more recently, and in this league season, of course, being bottom of the league comfortably. They need someone to go in and turn it all around for them. And I don't necessarily think it'll be particularly easy, but I do think in terms of a change of pace for the series, this makes the most sense. They've got players that are sort of known wonder kids like Ryan Brewster, who obviously comes to the Liverpool Academy and does relatively well. He's been here for a few years now after he was bought for a very, very small price. Kelechi Iheanacho is a player that I'm sure lots of you will be familiar with. Of course, former Manchester City and Leicester, had been to Leeds and was bought by Aston Villa, who have been up and down in terms of league campaigns. And this year, he's probably the top goal scorer for the side. Look, they've not had a good year. They've got some interesting players. One I have to mention, right, is Gareth Hanna, a player that I very nearly signed as a Boston manager, but didn't manage to get that over the line. 20 years of age, he may well just be that player that we build this whole team and this whole thing around. Of course, when he moved to Aston Villa and then was loaned to Doncaster, we were gutted. But now we have him at last. It's not gone the easiest of routes, but Gareth Hanna and me, we're now best friends. Pure Sisto is there as well, and of course, next episode, that's what we're going to be doing. We'll be talking about the entire squad and working through what we've got where, as that is going to be the new part 1. So if you're very confused, because the change of title is becoming a new thing, I'm going to change it. I think going from Boston Boys 70, I can't just suddenly have new title, episode 73, I don't think it would work. So we're going to go with Hero to Villain, and then part 1. So tomorrow, 5 p.m, make sure that's the new thing that's going on. This is what the thumbnail's going to look like, okay? So now we all know where we stand. What I do still need to do, though, viewers, as we sit here discussing it, is accept the offer. We did have loads of stuff go on. By the way, Ryan Shawcross was sacked by Peterborough. Last episode, Ryan Shawcross was appointed by Peterborough. And of course, the Newcastle offer came along as well. But you can see it didn't take long. 14th of March, they offered me the interview. And then just 3 days later, they approached me with the actual job. That's quite exciting for me. Ignore the fact there's a transfer budget. We're in March. It doesn't even matter. But here we are then. It is essentially a 15-month contract with a top division relegation wage drop. I look forward to that. That's going to be, yeah, good, okay. My only fear, of course, and this is something I should mention, is if we do get sacked, then I'm hoping that they look kindly on me, as I've only been here for 7 games. Let's hope that's what happens. So I've finalised the deal. We are the new Aston Villa manager. And I've been having to wait to do this for ages. And here we are then. This is our new home. It is a little bit of a rise up the divisions, don't get me wrong. But I think, as I say, they're probably going to go down. And to be a championship side. League One, and I've rarely would I slander a league so badly, is one of the most boring divisions I've ever been a part of in my 5 years of doing this. There's just like so little X factor about this division. Boston might get relegated. I didn't even notice this. They have plummeted. Maybe I should apply for... No, Ben, we're over this now. Well, that's going well for temporary manager Harry Ross, isn't it? No, it's not. I mean, let's take a look. Oh, dear. Shambolic. I mean, I left. They had a bit of a resurgence, and then it's not gone too well. They have just beaten Leyton Orient. And, yeah, they've got not that many games now to save themselves. We'll keep updated with that, of course we will. But it's not going to be the main focus anymore. Although you get Marky Fletcher on a cheap deal, couldn't you? Loan him in, late doors. So let's take a look through a few bits and bobs to say squad-wise. We'll look at it tomorrow, but let's see then what we're working with at Aston Villa. Let's look for some of the good potential regions. Of course, I've not been able to see quite how good they are. I've just been able to sort of have a look through. There's a couple of really nice young players here. Yeah, I'll treat you to them now. Jack Hurst is one I really like. Currently on loan at Exeter. Will be back with us and has got some time left on his contract. I think in terms of building a squad for next year, Gareth Hanna, of course, will be a part of that. Jack Hurst, definitely going to be a part of that. And he's come through the Villa Academy, so that makes it even more exciting. And he's probably a player I've played against at some point. They've also got our Portuguese centre-back João Acosta, who's not terrible, maybe all right, but Tony Wright, now this is the man, out on that left-hand side, just to confuse me, 20 years of age, will do quite well to keep a hold of him. He's wanted by a few teams. West Ham seem to be sniffing around, but yeah, he could be a real superstar of this side. Tony Wright, this is one player especially that really attracted me to the possibilities of managing Aston Villa, is this man right here, Tony Wright, who plays on the left. Tony Left, he should probably be called. We'll save that nickname for tomorrow. I'm considering it already. Just quickly, financially, 12.5 million in the bank. It's not loads, is it? Considering they've had a whole year in the Premier League. This year they've spent 52 million. That's where all the money's gone, and sold 13.5 million. Of course, the likes of Jack Grealish no longer at the club. But they brought in quite a few names, some of which cost them a fair amount of money as well. I think it said Zeca is probably one of the key ones. Portuguese, 31 years of age. He's the sort of player that I'd probably try and move on. Luckily, they signed him in the summer, so he's had a whole year here. It's not like he signed in the January and I'm going to try and move him on straight away. They also signed Berisha from Norway, who's got 5 finishing as a striker, so I can see why they're not going up, or staying up, I should say. In terms of potential, in their 23s, James Walker, defender, leader, seems to be the best one. Heading and tackling need a little bit of work, but I mean, physically and mentally, he's pretty good. 20 years of age. We're going to have to work on a few of these technical attributes, though. And Stephen Sands as well, the other one, not amazing. In the 23s, one player, Jordan Carroll, apparently he's going to be really good. Looks like he's got a lot of developing to do if that's what we're going to see out of him. And Liam Donnelly, a similar situation for him as well. Both very young, they're 15, so let's not expect too much too soon. And I mentioned him already, look, Tony Wright, definitely a standout player in this side. And Keith Horton, the goalkeeper, 10 handling at the moment for a 21-year-old. That's going to have to improve. He's going to be a mainstay on my side. But again, lots of potential, maybe to want to look out for as well. And a little bit of potential in some other players as well. Joe Atkins, maybe one. But again, finishing. Some of these key attributes for these players in their positions, not ideal, viewers. But there are some good players here. And of course, a squad that we'll get to know tomorrow. Hopefully you're excited for the Aston Villa journey. Hopefully you're invested in the idea that we're a side that can hopefully do something next season, and this year at least we get like a relegation battle, at least we get a little bit of end of season stuff in terms of can we keep Aston Villa up and sort of perform a bit of a miracle. You look at the fixtures that they've got remaining, only Manchester City stand out as one of the hardest games left in there, and their recent form over the last 6 actually isn't too bad. Wins against Huddersfield as well as wins against Everton, but Burnley, Brighton, Wolves, Manchester City, West Ham, Watford and Southampton, those to me sound like games that we can maybe win, and a lot of those sides I've just mentioned there are in that bottom 6 conversation. It's not impossible. It's not easy though, is it? And hopefully then you will join me on the next chapter of this adventure. Hero, Boston hero to villain. Oh, you can't be a hero if you got sacked. Yes, I can. We got 4 promotions. Back off. Right then, with love, with care. If you're not to mention, until next time, I'll see you again for another episode, or the first episode of Hero to Villain, and I'll see you again very, very soon. Goodbye. Comment section, let me know what you think. I know I said I wouldn't go to this. I know what I said. Juventus rejected me as well. Unbelievable.